lift it right up under, so that's it.
So this is a Game of Thrones themed art exhibition. I've helped judge some of the fan contributions. So it's basically been thrown open to the Game of Thrones fans to create the best piece of art, Game of Thrones related art they can, and they're all being showcased here tonight. I always liked the Arya piece, and I had no idea it was actually that big. I thought it would be much smaller, so that's really impressed me. That was always one of my favourites. I think that's cool. But I'm yet to have a proper look around.
It's showing what makes the show take place. My stuff is the same, I guess. I mean, it's the breaking down of one small sequence that was an important scene in the show, and it's about, I guess, showing how, a little bit of how it's made, and seeing the fan art. I mean, the fan art's beautiful. I mean, it's wonderful seeing things that people are able to take time over. We have no time.
I mean, my job as a costume designer is to analyse and then create within the story that I'm reading and try and foretell or I suppose express what that person's feeling. And it's very important to do it from where they come from, accessible items, accessible materials. And it's storytelling. That's the end of the day. It has to be really good storytelling.
The costumes lend so much to the overall process of being in it, because there's no Velcro, there's nothing on them that's they're all authentically medieval. You have to tie everything up, which can be a bit of a nightmare in the morning, putting all these various layers on, but it then means that you are genuinely in as good as a medieval fantasy Game of Thrones costume.
So it doesn't take a really long time to get into...
Yeah, but on the flip side, so many layers means you're pretty warm in general, which is nice in the cold of Belfast.
I think still the most important scene for me, and my favourite one, has got to be the very, very beginning, when we did the opening scene that leads to seeing the White Walkers for the first time. Because I designed the White Walkers originally, and when you see that as well, and understanding what we were going to show and what we weren't going to show, it was that whole thing where you had so much tied up in making that scene work. And Tim Van Patten had to go and pitch this to HBO to make sure that they realised this is what we're going to do with the opening, because the opening was going to lead us into the show and then we were going to be hooked.